We are live at the Calf Empire, and today we want to talk about three most precious individuals who were taken up to heaven by God. We never know how it happened, but we have taken it from some is from King James Version, the other is from a certain website that I'm going to tell you guys what it is. You already know what the culture is. I always put this on a, a paper. I think it's not showing. Yeah, you can see there's delayed a good type of notes here. Yeah, that is what I'm going to talk about. That these individuals, they were taken up to heaven, and we want to read it straight from the Bible, how it happened, and we are going to elaborate much more on each and every individual, on the story behind it, what it might really mean. That is what we want to do. So first I will start with 2 Kings James, 2 Kings 2 verse 1 up to 18. 2 Kings 2 verse 1 up to 8, it says, Elijah is nearing the end of his life. In 853 BC, he sets off from Gibeah with Elisha and visit the prophet at Bethel and Jericho. You already know what Jericho is. Jericho, it was a great city that was conquered by uh, Elisha when they were moving from Egypt to Canaan. So Elisha is the one who take in charge of Israel after Moses was gone. After Moses was gone, Elisha take in charge, and they went there to conquer Jericho. And by this time now is when Elijah made uh, these two prophets, Elisha and visit the prophets. He set off from Gibeah with Elisha and visit the prophets at Bethel and Jericho. So you know, Elisha is the one who delivered them. So after some time, they were still there. Then Elisha also comes in, and he's the one who was visited by they are the ones prophet who were visited by these two prophets. But this is Elisha, you might never know, because by biblical names, mostly they were given from as a clan, like descendant, like the 12 disciples. You can see those names, they keep going depending on the clan or the family or the bloodline, what I can say. Because Elijah then strikes the river Jordan with his cloak, and the water divides, so the two men can cross over. As they climb away from the river bank, Elijah is taken up to heaven by wind in a chariot of fire. See, this was the time now the prophet Elijah was taken up to heaven by a chariot of fire. It was like the way you might visualize a chariot. So there is was fire, so he was in there, and Elisha was the one witnessing Prophet Elijah being taken up to heaven. So all you have to know, all these majority there are archetypes of you in our psyche. It can't really happen like critically. That there might be some magical uh, shark or whatsoever that can come out and take someone up to heaven. Majority of this, they were there because the time where when this was happening, it was a time where there are a lot of magic happening. So for evolution, these stories were really great to help raise people's consciousness, to help raise people's understanding of how they might increase and evolve and grow. And the other one was in Genesis 5, verse 18 to 24. And it starts from 21. Uh, when Enoch had lived 65 years, I have started from 21, but it's from 18. It talks about Enoch. So he said, when Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. And after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God. And he 300 years and had other sons and daughters. So you can see there was a clan where Enoch comes from, like there was a bloodline where Enoch comes from. So majority of this you can see they are more related to bloodline inheritors of blessings. You see, like the other one inherited the like the way most superstitious people view at reality. See, that's why majority they might love this storage, but they are just so all we have to just know that there are people who were taken up to heaven. So we just want to elaborate more on who are where these people. Because as once we see them in the Bible, there are also some special books that they also wrote for themselves, and those books were given hidden. And on this, I want to elaborate much more, because he also wrote his own books and the visions whatsoever, what he was believing, except being just outlined in the Bible, only the outlook on the bloodline where he was coming from up till the time he was taken up to heaven. He lived 65 years. He became the father of Methuselah. 20, after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch worked faithfully with God. See, he was faithful with God 30 years and had other sons and daughters. He also had other sons and daughters. 22, although Enoch lived a total of 365 years, Enoch worked faithfully with God. Then he was no more. That's what the Bible said. He was no more because God took him away. See, that's how the Bible have illustrated about Enoch, that he worked faithfully with him. After working faithfully with him, then he was no more because God took him away. The one who was faithful just took him. We may never know whether, remember, all these are just archetypes stories. They were working perfectly fine during the time of where magic was much in control. So there are these stories that will help raise humanist consciousness. Remember, we are not just the stories of the words, all that exists, that what is fundamental is mathematical information of sinusoid waves. That is what it governs each and every one like of us here on earth. That is what is governing us. So it's not about just believing. You have to apply reason and logic to it. So that once, because remember, I say I want to elaborate more on Enoch. So it means I will be having other streams talking about it, the same Enoch, the visual, what was not he, except the bloodline. Look at who Enoch was, because in those other books we might not even find the bloodline of him or her. Yeah, that is I want to say. The last one was Mary. Mary is the mother of God, perpetual virginity. So we all already know Mary was the son of, or the mother of Jesus. He gave birth to Jesus. He gave birth while he was a virgin. So it was the Spirit, it was God who impregnated Mary to give birth to Jesus. And Jesus, after when he grows up, he also became God. See, you can know it's the way it has been implemented, but in today's societies, we have, by remember this time of magic was much in perfect harmony. So, but nowadays we have scientists, we have biologists that they know that it's logical impossible to have a pregnant without being impregnated. For a woman to have a pregnant without being impregnated, either artificially or via via cooperation. It's logical, impossible. It might be either artificially somehow have implanted it straight in the uterus. They remember we have a lot of surrogate motherhood that people are doing. All those is just for reproduction. So to say that the spirit just come in and implant it in someone's womb. Nowadays, if you can go and start preaching that is true in the eye of a scientist who look at you as someone crazy, or he will just hate everything you are preaching because he do it's logical impossible. Maybe it's the other way that we also face a lot of challenges when it comes to explaining science and Christianity, or science and religion. There are a lot of conflicts because lack of this logical understanding of what the teachings were all about. So the he was also called Theo. He was also called Theotokos. So it said Mary is the mother of God, perpetual virginity. Mary was virgin before, during, and after the birth of Jesus. Immaculate conception. Mary was conceived without original sin. That is according to www.dynamiccatholic.com. See, so there was not that original sin. Remember, once it comes to Bible, having sex before marriage was a sin. So the time Mary was found pregnant, it was the time Joseph was just his fiancée. They didn't officially get married. So by then, the society to look at something like that, it was regarded as a sin, and one of them was supposed to be killed. But in the end, Joseph accepted Mary because Mary to have a pregnant that Joseph was denied. By that time, it would have brought a lot of question and it would have ended up Mary being killed because it was a sin to God. Remember, by this time, masculinity was also in play. A male son was favored to be the superior than the girl child. See? So that's why the voice of Joseph would have kept would have made more sense than what Mary would have said. That's why instead of fearing for her to be thrown, uh, Jesus accepted that the pregnant was there because of God. And there is no other evidence that you are going to find out except the way I have explained it right here. Yeah, that is that on the three individuals who were taken up to heaven that are there in the Bible. See you in another stream. I think I have explained it clearly, and we are going to elaborate more on the other individuals on how their teachings goes goes up, what they wrote on that simple thing that we should be able to easily understand on what it is. That is that. Remember, all these are they are more explained in terms of stories because by the time magic was much in control, so the best way people were learning much on this were the time they were learning via um, riddles whatsoever, so that they must be able to distinguish good and evil, and they should choose one or the other. That was what was happening by then. Cheers. See you in another stream. Bye.